there! Welcome back to Mini English Learning Series Email Writing for Thai Staff with me, Mila Budiarto. This is lesson number 2. But before we begin, let's review what we have learned from the previous lesson. We talked about the 5 parts of the email structure. You have the subject line, salutation or greeting, message content, closing, and signature file. In this lesson, we will talk about the email etiquette. I will tell you the 10 general tips, the do's and the don'ts of email writing. So, are you ready? Did you know that when you email someone for the first time, the recipient will open your email based on 3 things: how your name appears in their inbox, your subject line, and your email address. Okay, so now let's talk about the first tip, how your name appears in the inbox. Do check how your name will appear in your recipient's inbox. Make sure you capitalize your first and last name correctly. For example, if your name is Diana Prince, you want to capitalize the D in Diana and P in Prince. Tip number 2, your subject line. Make sure you have a clear, short, and specific subject line, and it must match with the email content, so it is easily searchable by the recipient if he or she wants to look for that specific email again. Never leave the subject line blank because the recipient may not want to open that email, or the recipient will have a very hard time looking for that email again in the future. And don't write the subject line too general or unclear because it will confuse the recipient. And don't write in all caps or use many exclamation points because it sounds like you are shouting and your email may be mistaken as a spam. Tip number 3, your email address. Use an email address with an institutional domain name such as @phuket.psu.ac.th because it's verifiable and more credible. Or you can choose a professional email address with your first and last name. For example, diana.prince@gmail.com. Or you can have your first name in initial d.prince@yahoo.com or d_prince@hotmail.com. Emails sent from unsuitable email address may not be opened and may end up in a spam mailbox. Example of unsuitable email address is iamcutecute@gmail.com. Tip number 4, take a moment to review your email. Be sure to proofread your email carefully before hitting that send button. Check if there are any typos, grammatical or punctuation errors, or inappropriate word usage. Tip number 5, it's KISS. It stands for Keep It Short and Specific. Keep your email short and to the point. Remember, you are writing an email. You are not writing an essay or a novel. Each email should cover only one specific item, task, or request. Tip number 6, make your email easy to read. So how do you make your email easy to read? You can divide it into short paragraphs, use white space between the paragraphs by hitting the enter button, or use bullet points or numbering, and use short sentences instead of the longer ones. Tip number 7, your email is a reflection of you. Be sure to write in a positive tone. Be polite and respectful, so you may want to use the word please and thank you whenever possible. And also acknowledge the receipt of the response email and thank the sender, especially when you're requesting for assistance. Don't write an email when you're angry or feeling emotional because once you hit that send button, you may regret what you have just written. And avoid using strong and negative words. Tip number 8, respond in a timely manner. Depending on the nature of the email and the sender, replying within 24 to 48 hours is acceptable. If you can reply as soon as possible, do it before you forget. Tip number 9, mind your attachments. Indicate in your email that you've included an attachment and give the attached file or files a logical name so the recipient will know what the attached file is all about. And don't forget to attach the files, because if you forget, you may have to send another email, and that is very embarrassing. Tip number 10, reduce the amount of emails you send. Send or copy others only on a need-to-know basis. Or you can make a phone call instead of writing an email if you need an information really quickly. Don't automatically click reply all if only 1 or 2 people need to read your message. To download this lesson in PDF, go to the link in the video description below. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you learned something in this lesson, and I will see you again in the next lesson. Bye-bye!